In this lesson for Monument, we're going to look at the string synth. Now this is quite a contrast to the bass part, which was really ridiculously complex, so we're just going to fit a nice easy one in there now. And this is just a padded string, so it just underpins the actual sound, and in many cases it just adds to that momentum of the sound as well. And when it comes to strings, you kind of find these more in the prominent sections like choruses, and if you're not listening for them, sometimes they can be quite hard to spot, as in this case. So how they're written on the score is just basic triads with appropriate inversions. So starting with this A minor chord and then falling onto the C and so on. So how are they arranged? So once again, they are in the chorus and then in the final bridge. They start off on the C3 and generally don't go any higher than the C4. For my ones here, I've got them panned down at the centre, and as I said before, they're quite low in the mix. You may consider putting a nice spreader on these as well, just to kind of push the sounds out to the side, just to give you kind of a nice even padded sound. You'll find that you have to adjust the volume as you go through, and as you can see by this piece, we start off with this -12 point, and as we get into the bridge, we've brought it down just so other things can kind of start happening. The instrument that we've used is the ES2 with this strings PWM, which you can find under synth pads and then down here. The things that you're going to have to think about adjusting once again is the shape of the envelope. For my mind, the actual string pad starts to fade a little bit earlier than what we've currently got, so you might want to just think about bringing the release time down a little bit, depending on how you feel about that. The strings are sunk quite low in the mix, so we shouldn't worry too heavily. So here's what we got so far. If I just solo my string, just so you can hear that first. So nothing out of the unordinary there, a fairly basic sound when it comes to strings. Here's the whole part with all my other instruments as it currently stands. And I'm going to have to look further at the balance as we go through. As we start adding more instruments, I will change the balance of all these instruments and just kind of work out their position. Just to give you a contrast of what mine's sounding like to the original, I'll just play a couple of bars of the original track as well. This will be my monument. This will be the beacon. So as you can see, the strings are quite low in the mix. So nice easy one to do. Get your strings inputted. In the next lesson, we're going to start looking at the really complex organ part.